October 1st, night. I woke up to the sound of falling rain. So I can't believe I'm still alive. Carlos?
It looks like our roles have been reversed from when we originally met, huh? Don't worry, Jill. This chapel is safe.
I've been infected by the virus, haven't I?
Hey! Take it easy.
I'm okay. Don't feel any pain. But that's what bothers me. If I can't feel anything, then what does that mean?
Don't give up, Jill. I'll take care of you. Whatever you do, don't let that virus beat you.
Okay, so welcome to my Resident Evil 3 walkthrough on hard mode, and of course, this is part 3. I love that music. So, we are now playing as Carlos, because Jill Valentine was infected with the T-virus by Nemesis during our battle. So, since she's bedridden, Carlos is going to repay the favor that he owes her and actually cure her of the T-virus. And this Jill being infected with the T-virus is a plot point that is used later in Resident Evil 5. But yeah, I'm getting way ahead of myself there. So now that we are playing as Carlos, we are going to want to run back into the room that had the 3 pictures, the past, present, and future picture that each had clocks on them. We had to make the middle clock, or put the middle clock on midnight in order to solve that puzzle, in order to pick up a gear. So yeah, that's the room that we're going to be running to. In the room that was sort of adjacent to this one, there is a bell, and Jill couldn't push this bell, but Carlos can, so you're going to want to push it and leave the room. Even though Jill could have just walked around that bell, but yeah, who cares? She didn't need to come out here. So once you get out here, you're going to want to run to the Raccoon City Hospital. And once in there, we are going to try to find a way to cure Jill Valentine of her ailment, her status ailment. There are zombies out here. You may or may not want to kill them. When you come back out here, you're not going to bother, or you're not going to need to bother avoiding those zombies because there's a cutscene that plays. So if you want to take them out, you can. If you don't want to, yeah, do whatever you want. And over here, we are introduced to an old enemy who returns to the series, the Hunter. This is a new type of hunter. I'm pretty sure this one poisons you. The one with those weird protuberance, pink protuberances on their bodies, but those hunters poison you, if I remember correctly, and the other hunters just kill you quickly. They're not as bad as they were in Resident Evil 1 or Resident Evil Director's Cut, but they can still be really annoying. But it's not too bad to deal with them because we do have a submachine gun with us, so we should be okay. So in this room there is a tape recorder, and there was some pistol ammo over at the lockers. You're going to want to use the tape recorder over here on this voice recognition device in order to gain access to the elevator.
Fracture in his right arm just below the elbow. However...
Okay, so now that we have access to the elevator, let's use it, of course. And what you're going to want to do here is go to the 4th floor. Now, this is random. Sometimes zombies will show up once this door opens, and sometimes they won't on this floor. If they don't show up on this floor, they will show up on the next time we use the elevator to leave the hospital.
Don't shoot! No! Nikolai? You're still alive?
You saw what happened.
What's going on?
I'm one of the supervisors. That's all you need to know.
Wait!
Alrighty, so let's go and pick up the sick room key. And let's make our way to a sick room. Actually, we're gonna go to one of the patient's room before we go to the sick room. Though I'm quite sure they're both the same thing. I just call the one the patient's room and the other the sick room, just to make it easier for you guys to follow. So, you're gonna want to go into the first door in this hallway right here. So in here, you're going to want to click on the doctor's body. He has a slip of paper that has a code. Remember the 3-numbered code? It is always different, but in the annotations, I will be putting all the solutions that I know of. What you also want to make note of in this room is where that cabinet is placed. The cabinet that's on the right side of the room near the herbs. You're going to want to know where that's placed because you're going to need to push a cabinet in the room that is next to this one. So, in order to know where to push the cabinet, you need to know where that cabinet was in that room, or the location of that cabinet in the room. So, once you know the location of the cabinet, you're going to want to push this one into the opposite side. So, for me, the cabinet was on the top right, so I need to push this cabinet to the upper left, obviously. And of course, wherever the cabinet is in the other room, as I said like 5 times already, you're going to want to push it to the opposite side in this room. Really easy puzzle to do. And once you do that, make sure to punch in the code that you got from the dead doctor in this panel over here. So let's punch in the code. Okay, so now we have acquired the base vaccine. Or the vaccine base, rather. I think the base vaccine is from Resident Evil 2. But now that we have this, we've done the first step in order to save Jill Valentine of the T-virus, or from the T-virus. So, now that we have this, we can go down to the basement 3 level of the hospital. Kind of odd that there's no floors in between that we can go to, but hey, whatever. Makes things easier for us. Wow, that was a really long load time right there. So in this area, there are quite a lot of hunters. You may or may not want to take them out once again with your machine gun. I opted not to, as usual. Hunters are usually pretty easy to dodge, but I do become careless after I finally complete making the vaccine for Jill. So you're not going to want to follow what I do there. But over here, there is the medium base that you will want to pick up, and we're going to be placing it over here. So let's switch the power, and let's get to synthesizing this vaccine. Of course, as you see, it drains out these weird frog-like monsters that are essentially hunters, but yeah. So place the medium base there, and the solution to this puzzle is always numeral 1, numeral 3, and then A. Roman numeral 1, Roman numeral 3, and A, for anyone who didn't hear me the first time. And once we do that, we've synthesized the vaccine medium, and once we have the vaccine medium and the base vaccine, or the vaccine base, you're going to want to combine those and we will create the vaccine itself. So I ran past the door there. You do not want to do that. I was really stupid. So now that we have the vaccine, we are going to be escaping from this hospital. If you didn't kill that hunter, you're going to want to run behind him like I did so you won't get swiped by his claw hand. And out here, I started stupidly running forward because I forgot that there were hunters in this room. It's really easy to kill them there, though. And right here, I think I combined the 2 vaccines together. Oh yeah, okay. So now that that's done, let's escape the hospital. So if the zombies didn't show up for you on the 4th floor, when you first showed up in the hospital, they are going to show up right here. So be sure to take them all out, or take out a few and leave. And just dodge the last few. And once you do that, you can leave the room. So let's go save Jill. There's also a save room in here. If you want to save, you can. I would not advise that you do because we're almost done playing as Carlos right now. a time-based bomb, so yeah, get out of there as quickly as you can. And now we will get a cutscene. Well, there goes the hospital. So, let's continue on our way to Jill to give her the vaccine. So, quite sure that you guys have noticed, well, not sure if you guys have noticed, but I've gotten sort of a huge influx of subscribers due to my Slender video. I did not expect for that video to get so many views, and right there I was poisoned by the gigantic spiders, which is something you don't really it doesn't really matter if you avoid it or not with Carlos, because you're not going to be playing as him after this anyway, so who really cares? Let Carlos heal his own status. But yeah, I've gotten quite a big influx of subscribers because of that video, and here comes our good friend the Nemesis. Yes, Nemesis survived his encounter with Jill Valentine, and he seems far more powerful now that his coat is gone. He has tentacles and things like that, which can be irritating to deal with sometimes when he grabs you, but for the most part, dodging him is essentially the same as earlier in the game. And also, his music sort of changed a bit, sort of a remix, but it's really cool music. Really love Nemesis' design. So let's give Jill this vaccine and cure her, finally.
Hey! Are you okay?
Yes. Barely. What's going on?
No way! That monster just doesn't give up!
What? I thought we killed that thing!
No, it's been waiting for you!
He's playing with us. Carlos, do you think that it's unstoppable?
No, I don't think so. I'm sorry, Jill, but I've got to go take care of a few things. Oh, and bad news. Nikolai is still alive.
Nikolai? Are you sure?
Yes. I don't know how, but I do know that he is our enemy. Remember, don't trust him.
So yes, we are the awesome Jill Valentine again, so let's put some items into the box and take some out. What you need to take with you now is the lighter. You may or may not want to take the mine thrower with you, because it's not going to be really useful in the area after the one that we're going to be going through. And oh my god, Nemesis just broke through the door. So make sure to dodge him, run through the door, and escape. I really like that he breaks the door there, because you don't have to do this stupid transition between the doors. But anyway, what we're going to be doing right now is going... Wow, I got stuck on some sort of geometry there, but what we're going to be doing is going to the exact area that Carlos went to, but instead of going to the hospital, we are going to be making our way to the Raccoon City Park, and we're going to be doing a bunch of things there. But as I said, you definitely want to take the lighter. Oh, and of course over here there's some grenade rounds. I didn't pick them up earlier deliberately because I always use them during this point. And of course Nemesis is still chasing us, so be very wary of your surroundings here. So let's get out of here and make our way to the park. Actually, before we get to the park, we need to go to a safe room. Also, I'm not sure as to whether or not you guys knew it, but if you place your items as Carlos into the item boxes, like say you placed his machine gun into the box so that Jill could have it, that's something that you can't do, because for some reason the contents of Carlos's boxes don't transfer to Jill's, so it kind of sucks. But I suppose they did think ahead, because it would have made the game really easy if you could just take Carlos's submachine gun and just blast everything with Jill. But anyway, you're going to want to run into that safe room and acquire the part key. And right there you just saw the mine thrower in action. It works pretty well. It'll kill hunters in about 2 shots, it kills zombies in 1, but there is a delay, which kind of sucks. So let's use the park key and let's go into the park. So these areas always have different enemies, depending on what the game decides for you. Sometimes there'll be hunters there, sometimes those weird leech things will be there in that room that I just left, or the area that I just left. And in this area, there will either be zombies or hunters that will leap out from the water. I actually prefer the hunters in this area, because if the hunters are over here, they won't show up in the next area that I'm going to be going in. It really sucks when the hunters are in this next area, but those were the cards. Those were the cards that I was dealt. So yeah, if you don't have hunters in here, you will have zombie dogs. And as you saw, that hunter got destroyed by that mine thrower shot. Really humorous to watch. So in this room, you want to make your way to the corpse over here in order to pick up the second part key. There are 3 part keys here. It really sucks that they don't have their own sort of names. Sucks that I have to call them all part key, but whatever. In here, you most likely will want to take out the hunters, because they're really irritating, and we're going to have to come through here again after we're done with the park, because this is where we need to go in order to escape. But if you do have zombies on this wooden plank area, you definitely want to take them out. It's really annoying. If you have hunters there, it's really easy to dodge them, so don't even bother. So let's run across the park and go to the fountain in order to drain it. There's a sort of mini puzzle here where you have to switch the gears around in order to drain the fountain, but it's really easy to do. You can just follow what I do here. There's no reason for me to explain exactly how to do it when you can see what's going on screen. And this is, again, one of the few puzzles that remains the same. It's not randomized like a lot of the other puzzles are, or like pretty much every other puzzle is, besides the one where we were making the vaccine. So let's go down into the sewer. But as I was saying earlier, I was really surprised at the popularity of my Slender video, or popularity relative to the rest of my videos. I guess it was one of the first ones up where the ending was actually shown in a YouTube video. But, I don't know. And there's some weird stuff going on in the comment section of that video. About my being emo, I guess. I'm not emo. I wouldn't describe myself as such, but apparently I am because of my haircut. I don't understand how that works, but whatever. So you're going to want to go into this cabin over here, use the part key, and then discard of it. And here, you definitely want to make some acid rounds with the gunpowder here. And in order to make the acid rounds, you just combine the 2 yellow ones, and then combine the combined yellow ones with the grenade launcher ammo, and it'll make acid rounds. And you'll do the same thing in order to make the incendiary rounds. And of course, I'll put that up in an annotation, just in case you guys missed it, or if I didn't make enough sense for you, which I'm sure is what happened. So right here, you're going to want to use the lighter at the chimney area, and also you want to pick up the pipe that I did, because we need to use the pipe in order to break through this wall over here. And for the first time, I think, ever in the series, we're able to discard the lighter. Somehow Jill just intuitively knows that she'll never need to use the lighter again for this little adventure of hers. Woman's intuition is a powerful thing, apparently. So this is something that you don't need to do. There is a safe room back here that contains a first aid spray. There's going to be a boss fight soon, so I do suggest that you guys go in here and at least pick up this first aid spray. The boss isn't too bad. It can be sort of a battle of attrition, just because it always digs into the ground, and you have to wait till it pops up before you shoot it. It doesn't take long for the most part, but you can be screwed at times in that boss battle. But thankfully, it doesn't happen to me. The screwed part, that is. So there is grenade launcher ammo in here. Definitely pick that up. There's a note on that table as well, and of course the park key you definitely want to pick up. That's the park key that we need to use in order to escape from the park.
All supervisors, mission terminated. Return immediately. Repeat. All supervisors return immediately. Over.
Don't!
I really apologize for the weird cutscenes in this video.
I'm quite impressed you've managed to stay alive up until now.
And you seem to be doing a pretty good job of looking out for yourself. How about helping out?
I have no intention of helping you.
Because we're nothing but pawns in all this?
In a manner of speaking, you are. Our employers wanted a detailed analysis of the zombie beings which were created through infection by the T-virus.
You're saying that they deliberately sent in a military unit to be butchered by their creations?
Not exactly. Although the conditions encountered on this operation were extreme, it was an unexpected outcome that the team would be wiped out. We were only required to collect live data from the subjects. Another mutant!
Other mutant. Really bad. Really bad accents in this game. I don't mind Carlos's accent though. I actually prefer him with the accent than without, but yeah, it's a really bad accent.
What's going on? Whoa! What is that?
Sort of weird that Jill was surprised at what that monster was when she saw it earlier, but whatever. So, we are now fighting this giant worm. It takes about 11 to 12 acid rounds to kill it. As far as I know, it's weakest against the acid rounds, so be sure to use them against this boss. So, once it goes down the first time, after it initially pops up in the beginning when you get like 5 or 6 shots off, it's going to go underground and pop up for a few seconds. And when it does that, you barely have any time to shoot it. So you should probably wait until it pops up longer again, like it did in the beginning. So it'll pop up like 3 times, and then it'll take its whole body out. But it's a really simple boss fight, as you saw. It's not too bad. You may or may not get damaged. If you do, use your first aid spray or your herbs or whatever you brought with you in order to heal yourself. And let's climb this fence and get out of this place. Okay, so we are back in the sewers. Once again, there are gigantic spiders in here now. Earlier, weren't there those weird leech worm things in here? Well, whatever. Either way, you're going to want to dodge them. Try not to get poisoned by them, but there are blue herbs once we come back up because we are coming up at the fountain that we drained earlier. And there are some herbs in here. There's some green herbs and there are some blue herbs. Be sure to use them if you don't want to use the first aid spray that you acquired earlier. And of course, be sure to take all of the herbs that you want from there because you're going to need them later. Well, you may or may not need them later, but yeah. And I was really, really stupid on this part. I deserve all the damage I take here. But lucky for me, I have some health items. So we are running back down to the area that contained the hunters, where we searched the corpse for the park key. We're going to continue down that path, and there is a sort of... yeah, there's a locked door over there that we need to use the park key on. really chain link too. There's this gigantic chain there with a lock on it. I wonder who locked that door, but yeah, who cares? So let's dodge these hunters. Oh yes, and over here there are some magnum rounds there. If you have some space, be sure to pick them up. Sadly, I didn't have space, and of course these hunters were after me, so I didn't even bother picking them up. And I'm not gonna really be using the magnum at all anyway. I do use it later just to kill some normal zombies. I don't use it on Nemesis ever, so for me, in my opinion, in this game, the magnum is not that useful for the most part. The grenade launcher is what you're gonna need against Nemesis because he's weak against ice rounds. So in this decision, be sure to jump off rather than push him off because it's a faster, well, it's a much faster route to take. Makes the game much smoother. If you take the upper, if you push him off, you have to take the upper path and you have to go back down to where you end up here. And it makes things take a lot longer. Well, not that much longer, but yeah. So let's go up the ladder and we will be going to a safe room. And of course there's a cutscene here. Or is the cutscene here when I come... Actually, I think there's a cutscene when you come back out. Yeah, so we're going to be going to a safe room. Inside of the safe room there is a water sample. We are going to need that for the puzzle that we are going to be doing in the next part. And that puzzle sucks. I hate that puzzle. But I do have what I believe to be all the solutions for the puzzles. So that should be helpful for you guys. And yeah, that's the end of this part, and I will see you guys in the next one.